Hello everybody, I'm Mark Hoover and NCM Sports Talk is back for yet another episode, bringing you the highlights and stories of all things Norwood sports. First up, while usually I have trouble running to the kitchen, senior Natalie Martin's running is at a whole other level. Martin recently broke the NHS mile record that stood for 33 years. Not only that, she shattered it by 9 seconds. We reached out to her coach, Amy Worcester, who is an elementary health and wellness teacher here in Norwood and has worked with Natalie since she was a sophomore.
Hi, my name is Amy Worcester. I'm a longtime track and cross country coach here at Norwood High School, and today I'm here with Natalie Martin. Natalie, why don't you tell us how you started running?
I started running my sophomore year. It was indoor season, and I did it just as a way to get in shape for lacrosse because that was my main sport. I played that freshman year, varsity, and I played club. So I was just looking for a way to, stay in shape, but I kind of fell in love with running.
So before we talk about the indoor season, I want to backtrack and talk about cross country. And what's really cool about cross country, to talk about what you did this year, it's pretty unbelievable because you didn't run cross country freshman or sophomore year, and junior year you actually were injured.
Yeah.
So Natalie is the first Norwood athlete to win a divisional title in cross country. She won the Division 2A championship, and you won by 16 seconds. Why don't you talk about this race a little bit?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I didn't think going out that I was even in contention to win. I just, as the race played out, I started to build my way up a little bit, and I was getting closer to the girl in the lead, and when that moment came, I knew that was I had to take the lead.
If I remember correctly, it was on the second lap.
It was,
it's a
yeah.
3-loop course. You passed her on the second lap. You ended up beating her by 16 seconds. There were 162 kids in the race. It was really just an unbelievable achievement. Because of this, you earned the Boston Herald All-Scholastic, which is also another huge achievement, so congratulations. I wanted to talk about this indoor season now. You broke 2 school records. Let's talk about the mile school record first. You actually broke it the first meet of the season. Yeah. It was a 33-year-old school record, and you broke it by 9 seconds, so tell us about that. That feels so long ago now. I guess going into the season, I felt really fit. Although I had to miss I guess that was later, some meets later. It's been a little bit of a rocky indoor season, but going into the season, my fitness was there, and I think coming out of cross country, and that race was so good. I think it was a really good rust buster for track and getting speed work again. So yeah. Yep. And at the Northeast Invite, you shattered the 2-mile school record, which is also a 32-year school record. You broke it by 18 seconds. Did you expect that, or no?
Yeah, that race was kind of crazy because it's coming off of, we had just raced that Friday, and we had Saturday in between, and it was a really stacked field. Those girls went out so quick, and I kind of stayed conservative the first half of the race, and then the second half I just kind of went for it.
What's your favorite race your favorite distance to race?
Definitely the mile's my favorite, yeah, love the mile.
What are your next goals for the rest of the indoor season, for the spring season?
Definitely want to break 5:10 in the mile. I think that's within, is a possibility. And I guess just the 2-mile. I feel the 2 mile is not even my thing as much as the mile is, but definitely want to break 11:15 and hopefully go to nationals, whether that be indoor or outdoor.
And even the outdoor records are very similar to the indoor records, so those also, your plan is also to go after both the mile and the 2-mile outdoors as well.
Yeah, I'd like to.
And congratulations, because you recently signed, you're running at Holy Cross next year, so tell us about that.
Yeah, all over the summer I was looking at schools and talking with coaches. It was a very stressful process, but my first official visit was at Holy Cross. That was in October, and it was the first visit I went on for an official visit, and after that I canceled all my other visits. I knew Holy Cross was the place for me, so I'm so excited.
And you're going to run both cross country and track as well?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Natalie.
Thank you.
For NCM Sports Talk, I'm Amy Worcester.
Now that we've met senior captain Natalie Martin, let's try and catch up with the rest of the seniors on the NHS track team.
My name is Pierce Torpy. My favorite pregame meal probably is pizza. My favorite Boston sports team has to be the Bruins. And my favorite part of school sports, I guess, would be to just hang with the guys, you know?
My name is Ryan Murray. My favorite pregame meal is pasta. My favorite Boston sports team is Boston Celtics. My favorite part about high school sports is being with my teammates.
My name is Dan Martin. My favorite pregame meal is chicken Alfredo. My favorite Boston sports team is the Boston Celtics. My favorite part about high school sports is having fun with my friends.
My name is Angel Oliveria. My favorite pregame meal is my mom's favorite dish, tres golpe. My favorite Boston sports team is the Boston Red Sox. My favorite part about high school sports, I have to say building the bond like on and off the field with them.
My name is Braden Evans. My favorite pregame meal is chicken and rice. My favorite Boston sports team is the Patriots. My favorite part about high school sports is the community that shows up to the track games.
My name is Nate Boykin. My favorite pregame meal is chicken, and my favorite Boston sports team is the Boston Celtics. And my favorite part about high school sports is the team bonding and being with the team.
My name is Corey O'Brien. My favorite pregame meal is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. My favorite Boston sports team is the Bruins. My favorite part of high school sports is meeting new people.
My name is Natalie Martin. My favorite pregame meal is peanut butter toast. My favorite Boston sports team is the Celtics. My favorite part of high school sports is getting to compete with my friends.
My name is Catherine Cronin. My favorite pregame meal is a bagel. My favorite Boston sports team is the Celtics. And my favorite part about high school sports is the teammates.
My name is Julia Figueredo. My favorite pregame meal is a bowl from Juice Bar. And my favorite Boston sports team is the Celtics. And my favorite part about high school sports is just the environment with my teammates.
My name is Bridget Conley. My favorite pregame meal is a spot bagel. My favorite Boston sports team is the Bruins. And my favorite part about high school sports is the pasta dinners.
My name is Catherine Green. My favorite pregame meal is pasta. My favorite Boston sports team is the Celtics, and my favorite part about high school sports is the teammates.
My name is Jaylee Maldonado-Yanis. My favorite pregame meal is the yogurt bowl, and my favorite Boston sports team is the Celtics. My favorite part about high school sports is the excitement.
My name is Mariela Abielarias. My favorite pregame meal is pizza. My favorite Boston sports team is the Patriots, and my favorite part about high school sports is the teammates.
Norwood athletes get to do some pretty cool things. One of them is to play on the Norwood High Parquet Gym floor, named after legendary coaches Ken Nolet and Joe Johnson. But it's another game altogether to play on the parquet of the 18-time NBA champion Boston Celtics. It was a special moment for everyone who was there, including our very own Ron Marshalsea, who had the opportunity to shoot in the legendary garden. Announcers Joe Pinola and Joey O'Connor channeled their very best Johnny Most to call the game high above courtside. All three enjoyed broadcasting from such a historic arena, and one of the professional and popular parts of NCM broadcasts are the post-game interviews that follow a Mustang win.
Really tough one here. You know, that's a good KP team. I don't know if you knew, but they're 8-2 coming into that game. How does it feel to get a win like that on home ice?
It feels really good. You know, we worked really hard, and coming off of like a few tough games, we played really, really well. And I think that it's all coming together, and we're going to have a great season.
Obviously, going forward, we never know. You guys have 3 games left on the schedule, but looking up and down the roster, you guys had a lot of contributions all over. Speak to kind of the rest of the team and maybe guys stepping up today.
I mean, after the 4 or 5 game losing streak, we switched a few things up. We moved Mark Trahan up to forward, which was a big part of that. He's really good with forechecking, and he's really offensive minded, so we really needed that little spark in our offensive zone. And then coach just shook up the defensive lines a little bit, started running 4 or 5D a game, and people wanted to be there, so really worked out.
Both Isla and Katie are a part of the girls' high school varsity hockey team. Can you guys tell me about how your season's going?
I think the season's going pretty well. We probably didn't start out the way we wanted to. We were 2-7 in our first 9 games. But we kind of came together as a team and decided it wasn't the way we wanted the season to keep going. And so we turned it around, and I think we're now 9-8, and we have 2 games left, and we're pretty excited.
Yeah, we changed the lines around and then started scoring, and now we've won like most of the games in our second half of our season.
Yeah. We played a couple tough opponents. Westwood were 2 tough games for us, but I think we had a big OT win against Medfield, and that really helped us in the power rankings. And we're going to have a pretty tough match against the Vineyard tomorrow.
When we come back, I had the opportunity to sit down with senior captain Colleen Sisk and talk to her about her diving career at Norwood High. NCM Sports Talk will be right back.
Looking for 27.14. She's a second off as she finishes in 28-27. 48 is what we're watching. She's got about 6 seconds to do it in the event. 14, 15, and she gets it.
She qualified. Oh, that is fantastic. What a swim by Bridget Sopel.
And a deafening cheer here at Blue Hills Pool. Bridget Sopel has qualified for states in the girls' 100 breast with a time of 1:15.58. A senior captain celebrates with her team there by the diving boards. Congratulations to her. We are privileged now to be joined by Bridget Sopel, who is heading to states in the 100 breast. Bridget,
yes,
congratulations.
Thank you.
How does that feel? I know that was close,
Yes.
and you made it at the end there, closed it in, and congrats on that.
Thank you. It's so exciting. We qualified in our relay already, but it just feels so good to qualify individually and be able to do that.
Now, Coach Curtin, before the meet, was talking to me about sometimes to watch. I have it right here, and you'll see it, that we have to watch Bridget Sopel in the 100 breast, as that was going to be real close. I was expecting this to come down to like a millisecond or 2, but you almost beat that state's time by almost a full second the way that things went. Do you have any idea when you're swimming how close you are or if you're on pace or not?
I think when I got to the end over there, and I saw Colleen and Sophia like yelling at me to go. I was just like, okay, I need to last lap really push it, and I really wanted to qualify, so that really helped me.
Senior captain Colleen Sisk has been making waves this year for the NHS swim team and is taking those talents to Bryant University this fall. I was thrilled to meet the stellar student athlete. Well, we are thrilled to be joined in studio by Norwood High School senior, class of 2025, and one of the captains of our Norwood swim and dive team, Colleen Sisk. Colleen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking time out of what I know is a very busy schedule for you this time of year. You're right in the middle of the Tri-Valley meets, getting ready for sectionals and all that. So I've been wanting to say this for a long time, so let's dive right in. As an accomplished belly flopper myself and cannonballer, I know that watching dive can be extremely nerve-wracking. What is it about that sport that attracted you to it? Because I understand you just started your freshman year here up in the Hill.
So I originally did gymnastics, and I kind of died, it kind of died out in COVID. So then I just didn't really have passion for it anymore. And I was getting older, and I wasn't into it like I used to be. And Bridget Sopel was like, you should do diving. I'd never swam, nothing. And I just did it, and I really liked it. And then my coaches were like, you should do this for club. Yeah. So then I did that.
Well, I got to say, having seen a couple of your meets, it's extremely impressive what you and the other divers are able to do. Part of the sport of dive is obviously physical. You've got the repetitions that you have to go through, whether it be tucks and tumbles and twists. But part of the sport also has to be, there has to be a large mental aspect to it.
Yeah.
I would suspect both pre-dive and then immediately post-dive when you're getting ready for, your next dive.
Yeah.
Walk us through a little bit of what that's like. What is part of the mental aspect of dive?
The worst part about it is definitely before you dive at all, just getting ready and getting prepared for the meet is definitely the worst part, because you're watching your competition for the first time. You don't know how good they are usually. And then you just sit there and wait to go, and everybody turns quiet, and you walk up there with no noise at all, and you're not used to the no noise, because in practice, there's swimmers next to me. So then I walk up there, and I try not to think about anything, because when I think about it, I do so much worse. So I literally just go up there and tune everything out. I try not to even think about the silence or anything, and I just do it and then come up and wait for my scores pretty much.
Well, because for folks that have not seen a swim and dive competition, and I would highly suggest you check it out, because they are very, very exciting, loud, with the exception of when dive goes.
Yes.
You guys generally start the meet, and obviously, as you mentioned, all the swimmers are out.
Yeah.
The officials tell everyone to be quiet. All eyes are on you, the divers, right? So you guys are kind of at the spotlight there. Your freshman year, let's kind of go back a little bit. What was that like the very first time you get onto the board and there is no noise?
I had never watched a diving meet or anything, so I didn't really expect the quietness of it, but I don't know what I thought. I can't remember what I thought. I know I was excited to be there, so it didn't really make me nervous at the time, but I also wasn't doing crazy dives that I am now, so I don't think it made me nervous.
Probably start out slow and work your way up. That's a great idea. Let's fast forward 4 years. I mean, I was just over at the Ashland meet that you guys had last week. You're now 4 years into it, so you know that there's going to be this silence. You know that there's going to be this attention early on in the meet. What's that like? Has that changed at all in terms of the way you approach a dive?
Yeah, so my club coach always says one dive at a time, because once you're in your head, you really can't get out of it, and you only have 6 chances, and that can be hard a lot of times, because one dive can mess up your entire score. So one dive at a time, you do your first dive, and if it goes bad, forget about it. If it goes good, forget about it, because you have to move on from that. So I think that's my best way to look at it, is just one dive at a time, and it's whatever happens, it's going to be okay.
That's a great attitude to have, and it's interesting you mention it. You've got 6 dives. they differ in degree of difficulty and what you do. What goes into like basically kind of setting up what you're going to do at a meet? Like how do you decide which dive to do and then in which order you're going to do it? Because like you said, you've got a certain number of dives. I know there are certain requirements you have to do. What goes into that pre-dive preparation, as well, in terms of what you're going to do?
So each meet, there's a different category. So it can be forwards, backwards, inwards, reverse, and twister. And they'll pick one that you have to start with each week. So say it's a forwards week, you have to start with a forward dive. And you can do any dive you want, but the maximum difficulty can only go up to a 1.8. So usually you'll do an easier first dive, but it has to be a forward. And then the 5 dives after that have to be out of 4 other categories. So if I did a front dive at the beginning, I could do another front dive, but then I'd have to still get 3 other categories to go along with it.
Gotcha. Okay. So they kind of dictate what you have to do and when you have to do it. Okay. You know, I would be remiss in someone who has had a fairly short career at dive here at the high school and not mentioning what you've been able to jam pack in 4 years. Mentioned obviously one of the co-captains this year of this year's team. You've qualified for states and sectionals this year, last year, and the year before. So 3 straight years of sectionals and states. TVL All-Star last year. TVL honorable mention the year before. Team MVP in 2023. You also dive for the South Shore
Diving Club,
down out of Duxbury, and a captain down there. In that short time frame, you've really put together quite a little resume. For someone who's never done it, that's extremely impressive. You know, they talk about how fast time goes, and you know, it seems probably like just yesterday you were getting ready for your first dive. You are one of 2 seniors that have been on this squad all 4 years. You and your friend Bridget, who talked you into doing this, and you've had some fantastic coaches over that time span. Talk a little bit about the coaches that have kind of really helped you grow and develop in this sport.
So my freshman year, we had a coach originally. She came to like the first 2 practices, and then she was just like kind of said she was done. And I had never really like done a sport, anything similar to swimming or diving. So I was kind of like surprised, but then they found these coaches really fast, and her name's Juliana, and she's been with me for the past 4 years. So like, it was her first year coaching, it was my first year diving, and we've kind of built this, like, we kind of bounce back off of each other, and I think that's really good to have. And now 4 years later, she's still with me, and that's really cool, and she's a great coach.
And she's got a college dive background as well. I mean, spent some time at Clemson diving. Did the 2 of you during the course of your career up here talk about what the difference is between high school dive and at the collegiate level?
Not really a ton, but freshman year, she was like, if you join a club team, you can go Division I. And I was like, no way. Like, never in my mind would I have ever thought that I'd go play a sport anywhere for college. So like, it's really fun to look back on.
Well, she was, you know, somewhat of a, you know, a fortune teller there, because in fact you are. This is not going to be the end of our dive career here, right? You're heading off next year to dive D1 at Bryant College, Bryant University, the Bulldogs over there, right? And wow, quite a new coach having come in Coach Mary Ellen Clark, 2-time Olympic medalist, 7-time national champion. For her first year with the program, what do you think is going to be kind of like being coached now by an Olympic medalist?
She's a very positive person. I've met her at past club meets, so I'm excited to like go right into the positivity, right into like having a fresh start. I've never like really done weight room or anything, so it's going to be fun to like be with a team and be going to all those different things along with diving, because that's just like what makes you the best athlete. So I'm really excited for that.
You were recruited by Bryant, and what was it about the school itself that kind of attracted you to that program to dive there?
Both my parents went there, so that was a big one. And I think the smaller school, I don't really do well with
a lot of people in my classroom, so I think it's nice to have smaller settings, but then also amazing campus that they upgrade all the time. Like, they work so hard on that campus, and that was really important to me, that they cared about what their school was, like what their reputation was, and their athletics, because they're always trying to upgrade that as well. So all of that together.
And I looked at the Bryant current schedule. I mean, you compete against some top-notch programs in Marist and BU and all out of the America East. So you're going to have some fantastic competition, next year and going forward. If you think back to your freshman year and here in high school, have you thought about, and I know we always like, 1 meet at a time, we're not going to get too far ahead, but have you kind of envisioned maybe that first dive meet at the collegiate level?
Yeah, I really didn't think about it at all until I went to my first collegiate meet, which was actually like the first time I saw Bryant dive was this past year, so that was really fun, and it kind of set my expectations of what next year was going to be, and I'm just really excited. And a lot of times you're going against more than one school, especially for diving, because they do a lot of invitationals, and I know a lot of girls that go to schools around here, so that's super exciting that I'm going to be able to see people that I already know who have gone to collegiate level, and I'll be able to compete against them, and it's not really angry competition. It's always a fun competition where you're able to talk to the people that you're going against.
There is something about that swim and dive culture, and that we talk about. There is very unique bond amongst swimmers and divers across the spectrum, right? It doesn't matter necessarily what team you're on. You share that common love of the sport, and it's really kind of very, very refreshing. Real quick, what do you think you're going to need to do over the summer to springboard yourself into the collegiate level? That's 2 puns. Right?
I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break after high school. It's been pretty go for the past 4 years, so I think I might take some February off to kind of relax and be able to decompress, but then I'll get back into it. And then my club season usually has a training trip to Florida in the spring, right before summer. So I'll probably go on that. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to go to AAU Nationals or not yet. I'm not really sure where it is or anything. But that's also in the summertime. And that's a good time to be able to see people you've met in the past and reconnect with them while also training and working hard. And then probably some weight room. I need to get stronger.
All right. Now, you're wrapping up your career here at the high school, and 4 terrific years with the swim and dive, and we always ask folks, what are you going to miss the most? And most folks, understandably, are going to miss teammates and that time that they spend together. Leaving that aside, and I know how important that is there anything else that you think you might miss from swim and dive?
I'm going to miss actually swimming the most. Not that I love swimming at meets, but there's something about it when everyone's cheering you on, especially swimming. Diving, everyone claps. It's pretty courteous to clap, even when you're flopping all over the place. But swimming and seeing your teammates on the edge of the pool, trying to get you to go so much faster so that you can beat somebody, it's a lot different than diving, and I'll never be able to do that collegiately. But I think that's really fun about having a small team, is that I was able to try that out and be able to do that.
It was great to watch you do that as well. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Colleen, you have made quite a splash. There's the third one. Quite a splash here up at Norwood on the dive team. Congratulations on a terrific career thus far. Best of luck with the rest of the season, sectionals, into states, and then certainly next year over at Bryant, and with the promise that you'll come back this time next year, and we'll talk about that freshman dive, and we'll see how it turned out, right? So I appreciate you coming in, and again, congratulations. Colleen Sisk, everybody, you're one of your captains of the 2025 Norwood Swim and Dive Team. Well, that's it for this episode of NCM Sports Talk. Once again, we hope you've enjoyed the program. And remember, to stay up to date with all things Norwood sports, tune in every week for Ron Marshallsea's Sportscast on Norwood News. And if you've missed any one of NCM's broadcasts, or you just want to see a certain game or program again, you can always go to the on-demand feature on the NCM website, norwoodcommunitymedia.org. For NCM Sports Talk, I'm Mark Hoover. Have a great day, everyone, and let's go Mustangs.